Hello and welcome back to this new episode of Search for Self-Mastery with Exito. This time, I am going to talk to you about how to build unbreakable self-confidence, something that many men are failing to do and that is hindering both their personal and professional growth. If you stay, I will show you how to set aside insecurity and develop the confidence you need to take control of your life and move forward with strength. So let's get to the point. The lack of self-confidence is an obstacle that is holding you back and keeping you in a cycle of mediocrity, and you know it. The worst thing one can do is to hide those things that one knows and does not address or confront. Without confidence, you will never make the difficult decisions or take the necessary risks that you need to grow. It's time to put an end to that insecurity and build the confidence that will turn you into the man you have always wanted to be. So let's get to point number 1 on how to make this happen. Point number 1. Low self-esteem is the number one enemy of your growth. The truth is that developing solid self-confidence is essential to break the chains of mediocrity. Confidence allows you to act decisively and not depend on the approval of others, which, oh boy, that part really hurts. A man who trusts in himself does not stop in the face of doubt, nor waits for anyone's permission to move forward. If you do not have confidence in yourself, you are allowing others to decide your fate. And we have already discussed and covered this in previous episodes. When you seek the approval of others, you put yourself last. This means that you are not your own priority, and therefore, you put yourself last. Aren't you doing the things you know and want to do, and obviously not getting what you want, feeling super frustrated about not making progress, right? And if we continue in that direction, the lack of confidence turns you into a passive spectator, unable to take action when it matters most. Without confidence, you will be the person who always waits for others to take the initiative. I myself have been guilty of this same situation, where I have to wait for someone to do things, for someone to start things, for someone to believe in something, enough to say, okay, if they believe or he or she believes enough, then I can too, obviously demonstrating my lack of self-confidence. Does that sound familiar? The problem is that you become the shadow of something, of someone else, instead of being the protagonist of your life. And there is nothing more lamentable to see, perceive, and experience than when a man allows himself to be carried away by the current because he lacks the courage to swim against it and go in the direction he truly wants. Point number 2. Insecurity sabotages your opportunities and keeps you stagnant. Increasing your confidence allows you to seize opportunities that other men will let pass due to fear or insecurity. And this is not rocket science, it has clearly happened to you, to me, and it happens to everyone at some point. Surely you have experienced in one way or another that you had an interesting opportunity or several and you didn't take them out of fear, out of concern for what others might say, or what if my family, my wife, my partner, or society doesn't like it? That's when you are actually afraid of what others will say. But when you believe in yourself enough, you at least see opportunities where others see obstacles. And this is the key. Many times people, in this case men, stop seizing opportunities and taking action because they only see obstacles, they only see problems. However, if you take a small step back, you will realize that almost all of those problems that everyone complains about are actually an opportunity for someone who sees a way to solve them and, of course, charge for it. There are several interesting and simple examples. For instance, there are people who are overweight and want to look better. Well, some of them identified this and opened a gym. Another group of people realizes that others feel lazy or don't have time to prepare their meals, as they need to focus more on their work than on shopping and preparing food. So someone made fast food for you to arrive, order, eat, and leave, among other things. So here's the point. You don't need anyone's validation to know that you can achieve what you set out to do. Confidence gives you the power to act, without hesitation when making decisions. And as I mentioned a moment ago, insecurity will cause you to miss every important opportunity, allowing others to move ahead while you fall behind. And there is nothing worse than that. Seeing that you had an idea, realizing that it was possible, you knew it, you believed in it, but someone told you no, or you convinced yourself that it wasn't convenient, or you did it yourself, so that eventually you would realize that someone else did it. Has it happened to you? Because it has happened to me. If you don't have the confidence to act when those kinds of opportunities arise, don't be surprised when others take what could have been yours. And here we are talking about all kinds of opportunities, from job opportunities, professional, personal, to romantic ones. Haven't you ever lost out on a girl or someone you liked because you didn't take the leap, because you didn't ask? Did you ever ask someone if they had the courage to go for it and they beat you to it? I have. So we're not alone in this, just so you know. Insecurity is precisely that barrier that stands between you and everything you could achieve. Point number 3. Self-confidence is the key to being assertive and respected. Why? Because a man who is self-confident is assertive and knows what he wants, which earns him the respect of others. Or rather, when one has a lot of self-confidence, people see themselves in others and think, I would like to be like him. I would like to have the confidence to say no to people, to say no to situations that distract me, to say no to distractions, etc. That kind of admiration that one has for others is what generates the respect of wanting to be like that person. And that is where respect comes from. And expanding on this perspective or point, confidence not only benefits you, but it also changes the way others perceive and treat you. Just as I was telling you, a confident man is not ignored or overlooked, and you know it. When someone, in this case with a lot of self-confidence, presents themselves, their mere presence is felt, and everyone turns to see what they are doing or what they are going to say. And being assertive, in this case, means knowing how to say what one needs to say when it needs to be said, even if it sometimes hurts, even if at times you may hurt people by telling them things that are true, but that need to be heard. And also, knowing how to say no, which is what we are repeating over and over again, puts you in a position of strength where others begin to respect your opinion and your leadership because they cannot do it. And obviously, another very negative aspect is that a lack of confidence turns you into a follower, someone who never dares to say what they really think and want. And in my personal and professional experience, those people are the most dangerous, myself included. So that you don't think, oh yes, everyone but me. No, of course I have been. It has also happened to me a lot, even recently, that by not saying what I really wanted and thought, it brought me many problems, because in the end, I ended up being resentful towards the company, the boss, the situation, etc., instead of just talking about it and telling the truth. I have gone through many situations like that, where I end up hating myself or hating the situation I have been in, until I finally understood and said, hey, you know what? I have to stand my ground and say what I want, what I am willing to accept, and what I am not. And that's where a negotiation begins, in case it's a good dynamic where you are. And if that's not the case, you will quickly realize that the situation and the people you are with, in this case, your circle, your environment, are more negative than you thought. And that is precisely what brought you to the situation you are in. But at least you are no longer a victim of anyone. At least you put forward what you wanted, what you thought, and if others don't respect it, that's their problem. Let them deal with it. So, if you don't have the confidence to be assertive, you will end up becoming a man who always follows others, living by their rules and expectations. I don't know about you, but I am fed up, really fed up with all of that, with having to live under the yoke of other people, with what they want, what they expect from me. And that ultimately ends up clearly frustrating me, putting me back into this negative cycle where I end up being a follower, which I don't want. I end up doing things I don't want to do, things I don't agree with, but it was all provoked because I couldn't draw a line that said, from here yes, from here to there no. And well, a man without confidence is easy to manipulate, and will always remain in the shadow of those who do have the courage to stand out. It's a bit sad, but in the end, that's how it is. There are people who want to manipulate and do everything they want without caring about what others need or what interests them. So, developing unshakable self-confidence is not optional. That is the truth. It is essential if you want to achieve something meaningful in your life. But if you continue to let insecurity control you, you will always remain a follower and will never be able to lead your life. But if you are willing to work on your confidence, confront your insecurities, and take control of your destiny, then you are on the right path to becoming a respected and successful man. The choice is yours. Either you continue to be a spectator, or you take control and become the man you know you can be. And once again, remember, you are always one decision away from changing your life. See you next time. 2009.